Hmm.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Lyon from Lyon Editing. I am here today to help you refine your craft of writing. I work for the novel editing company Dot and Dash LLC. I am an editor. We offer everything from beta reading to sensitivity reading to author coaching. So full services. If you would like any more information, you can just hit up the links below and check us out. Today, I would like to talk to you about writing warm-ups. Creative writing warm-ups can be all important in getting started for the day. I mean, for an athlete, you wouldn't ask them to run 6 miles without stretching first. And for an artist, you wouldn't ask them to draw a 6-foot portrait without doodling first. You need these warm-ups in order to get your brain in the writing mode. So let's go over 3 different types of writing warm-ups. There are tons of them, but these are just some of my examples. Warm-ups are also something I'm familiar with because I used to be a teacher. I was an English as a foreign language teacher in South Korea, and writing warm-ups were really important for engaging students. And the 3 most important factors were the warm-ups being fun, varied, and brief. These 3 elements combined were the best way to get students to want to do the activity that was to come. So today I am going to teach you 3 fun, varied, and brief activities. These activities are going to be based off of the 3 different learning styles: visual learning, auditory learning, and kinesthetic learning. Now, there is some misinformation about these learning styles. There's a thought that if you're an auditory learner, you should only do auditory learning, or if you're a visual learner, you should only do visual. But the truth is, everyone benefits from every type of learning. Kinesthetic learners benefit from auditory learning, auditory learners benefit from visual learning, so all of these can apply to you and will be useful. Limiting yourself to just one will not grow you as a writer, so let's get into it and see what we can do today to help you refine your craft. All right, number 1 is our auditory learning exercise, and I call it the film score game. Now, there are a lot of different music games out there for writers, but most of them are lyric based. You put your Spotify on shuffle and the first song comes up, you write a story for. Well, I want to do it a little bit differently because I prefer film scores for this type of game. Film scores in particular I think are better because 1, they don't have any lyrics. Now, this helps because it gives you some wiggle room for interpretation and can really spark that creative flair. You're not confined to any set of words. Secondly, and more importantly, film scores are intended to invoke a certain emotion. That's their entire purpose. An example is the Pirates of the Caribbean film score. That entire film score is intended to invoke emotions of daring and adventure and grandeur, and you can just hear it through the music itself. Another example is the Harry Potter film score. That is intended to invoke feelings of wonder and awe. You're entering a magical world and you can just hear it through the music itself. So what I want you to do is there are 3 links in the space below. The 3 links will go to 3 different film score playlists. I want you to hit shuffle and listen to a couple, and whichever one sparks your imagination, you will sit with, and then you'll set a timer for 15 minutes. 15 minutes is a good amount of time to do a writing exercise in. And then I want you to take that and I want you to incorporate the atmosphere, how you envision that emotion of the music to be put down on paper, into words. I want you to do it for only 15 minutes because this is intended to get your writing juices flowing but not exhaust them. The biggest benefit of this type of exercise is to capture atmosphere. Writing an atmosphere is something that can be kind of elusive, but the more you practice, the better you'll be. All right, let's move on to our second activity, and that is called the story map game. Now, there are a lot of plot generators online, just from typing into Google and seeing what just pops up, but I like to invent my own. So today, we're going to generate a plot through our own making. This is just going to be a visual game, and it will involve a little writing. So what you'll first want to do is have a couple categories. I'll go over the categories one by one, but the first category is character. Do a list of 6. I'm going to choose 6 character archetypes. An archetype is basically a character you see over and over again in media and TV shows, movies, and so on. If you can't think of any character archetypes, you can go to tvtropes.com and browse different ones. For my archetypes, I'm going to have first a goth teen, a stoner surfer, a tired retail worker, and a repressed yoga mom. You can also get creative with these. I don't want you to limit to just basic character archetypes. I'm actually going to throw in 2 other ones that will be a little more interesting. So my number 5 one will be a Valley Girl werewolf. And my last one will be the daughter of the Grim Reaper. And I'll show you this again. So number 1, goth teen. Number 2, stoner surfer. Number 3, tired retail worker. 4, repressed yoga mom. 5, Valley Girl werewolf. 6, daughter of the Grim Reaper. Now let's move on to our next category, which is motivation. And I want these to be simple, one word or just a little phrase. My first motivation will be greed. My second motivation will be revenge. My third motivation will be glory. My fourth motivation will be loved one in danger. My fifth motivation will be fear. And my sixth motivation will be lust. For this demonstration, we'll have one more category. But the categories can be expanded. I'll go over that in a little bit. But for the third one, we're going to do tone or style. This is basically the angle of the story. My first one will be comedic. My second one will be noir, like film noir, just kind of that gritty mystery feel. My third will be horror. My fourth will be fairy tale. My fifth will be documentary. My sixth will be romance. So now we have all of our categories. You can also add setting and side characters. For setting in particular, I would recommend being creative, like a moon base, medieval Europe, a stranger's basement, a kid's video game, anything that just sparks your creativity. Now that you have a kind of map, we're going to turn to a 6-sided dice. If you don't have a 6-sided dice, then you could just use a random number generator online. First, we're going to roll the dice. I got a 3. My character is going to be a tired retail worker. I am going to roll again. I got a 2. Oh, this is fun. This is fun. I got the motivation for our tired retail worker will be revenge. So circle and then draw a line between the two. So draw a line. Final category. Let's roll. We got a 3. Oh, horror. So this will be a tired retail worker seeking revenge in the horror genre. So that's fun. That's a nice little story we have right there. So this is a creative writing exercise that you can be flexible with, and that will grow your skills by pushing the boundaries of what you're usually familiar with or comfortable with. So definitely add categories that you wouldn't normally write, just for fun. Once you have your categories down, set a timer for 15 minutes and try to incorporate all those things together. Feel free to explore this exercise and tailor it to your own needs. That's our visual activity. Let's move on to our last activity, which is our kinesthetic one called scavenger hunt. Now, what is kinesthetic? That's anything hands-on or whole body oriented, basically using movement into the exercise. First, I want you to start a timer for 30 seconds. Set that timer and then stand up and walk around the room to find 3 objects. 3 objects. Any objects, anything a little interesting or might inspire you. I'll go get my 3. I've gotten 3 objects. My first one is a snow globe. My second one is a tiny teacup. My third one is some earrings. Now, I want you to set your timer for 30 seconds all over again. And then for 30 seconds, I want you to do 3 things with your objects. Listen to them. So listen, feel they're smooth or bumpy or rough. Sniff, smell them, look at them, listen a little more. For those 30 seconds, really engage with those objects. As a fourth thing, you can also go get a book. If you need more direction in this exercise, you can just pick up any book as a fourth object. And then with the book, open to a random page. And whatever sentence jumps out at you, you can use as the first sentence to your story. Now I have, are you okay? Do you have any glass in you? A little bit, man, but I'm okay. So that'll be the first sentence to my 15-minute story, and then I have to incorporate all 3 of my objects into the story. The snow globe, the earrings, and the teacup. So they have to be in the story, and I want you to put as much sensory details as you can. A lot of writers don't add enough smell and sight and sound into their stories to really ground readers into the scene. being able to add those details will make you excited and your readers excited to be there and in that present moment. So make sure you have those sensory details. That is the point of this exercise. I hope these 3 exercises will be something fun and inspiring for you to really get those gears in your head moving and prepared to write more. Finally, I would like to give you an example of these writing exercises in practice. I'll give you an example of my own writing and something I did with them. So I did the story map again, but with this time I got Daughter of the Grim Reaper, her motivation is fear, and the tone or style is horror. So I have an example of this type of story that I can read to you now. So again, this only took me 15 minutes, and it's short, and it's just the exercise in practice. Alright, so here we go. The lighthouse on the edge of life and death must never go out. I was not born as other children were. My mother was a dying woman, and my father was a reaper who fell in love with her. She was close to passing on so many times that they simply started to dance, back and forth, hand in hand, life to death. He gifted me to her wrapped in funeral flowers. I do not often see ghosts, but I do see the lighthouse in my dreams. I wander there, weaving back and forth on the crumbling ground, and forgetting I was once human. I stand upon the black cliffs. The ocean is vast and unknowable, dark as ink and foaming at the mouth, with white so white it hurts to look at. I do not know who works the lighthouse. I do not know what keeps the light on. It is always in the distance, and always taller than the tallest trees, and shining through the densest fog. However, when I dream of the cliffs between life and death, I inevitably peer down, down, down to the water's edge, and they are always writhing there. The suggestions, the outlines, the things with arms and legs and faces contorted into something unrecognizable, they are always screaming in my dreams. Their voices screech and wail above the sounds of the pounding waves. Let me up! Save me! Let me return! Their arms flail out of the foaming waves, and their naked bodies distort and scramble and reach for the shoreline. They are mere outlines now, mere memories of what a person used to be, and how they scream for it. There is a single beam from the lighthouse that chases the shoreline and makes the figures retreat, back and back and back into the waves. They rarely make it to up the shoreline, with their foaming mouths, and eyes that are now just sunken holes. I do not believe in heaven or hell, because I have seen the dark ocean in the place between life and death, and the lighthouse there must never go out. That is an example of a flash fiction and something that you can do with these writing exercises. I hope that helped. Again, I am Jacqueline Lyon with Lyon Editing. I work for Dot and Dash LLC. Hit us up in the links below, as well as if you have a writing video in the future you'd like to see me do, leave it in the comments section. We can do growing your writer confidence, the art of the flash fiction, or just really anything you can think of. So let me know below, and good luck with your writing!
Hmm.